Welcome to Life on Purpose, and I'm your host, Carolyn McGraw, empowering entrepreneurs to maximize their brilliance, making a bigger impact with their business and their message. And today I have Grace Bermudes.
Correct.
Did I say that right?
Yes,
Okay,
just like the
Grace.
triangle with an ES on the end.
All right, you are a professional organizer.
Yes.
You have a background in education, and you studied environmental studies and also floral design. So you started out as a teacher.
Yes.
You studied environmental studies and floral design. How did you get started with organizing?
Well, it actually started in the schools. My kids were all in elementary school, and one of the fundraisers that they had was having a home tour, which is like a showcase house. And I got involved in that first doe-sitting, and then I started eventually working my way up to co-chair. And I loved it. The night before the show, we were running around and fixing up, just detail things, just like making sure the dust was off every surface, making sure all the plants and flowers were just sitting there perfectly. And it was so much fun. Wouldn't this be great to do this for people all the time? And so that's how it started.
So you just had fun discovering something you didn't know you enjoyed before.
Well, I already knew I liked it, but I had never done it for anybody else. And so it was like, oh, I could do this. It was like kind of like, wow, I can do this. So it's fun. So anything home, I love to remodel homes. I've done a few of those myself, and I actually like to go hands-on. So I've laid flooring and starting to learn some framing.
Nice.
So yeah, anything home. I just see a house and I just want to all of a sudden like work on it. It's just passion.
Nice. So tell us about, you have a chapter in The Secret Sauce of Downsizing, and tell us the name of your chapter and some of your tips.
Okay. My chapter is Simplify Your Move, and I wrote that chapter because a lot of people my age are actually what I call right-sizing, which could be downsizing into a smaller place. It could be upsizing into a larger place. But the bottom line is they feel that they have too much stuff and they just want to live with less. So I help them do that. I help them also if they're going to be moving and also moving in and moving out. So I have a lot of different ways I work with them. I have traveled to other states to work with people that were either moving or setting up their new home. So I do travel in my business, so when I get to do that, that's a lot of fun. And one of my biggest tips was you don't need a lot of things to be totally efficient. I actually brought along two of my toolboxes. This is what I call my organizing toolbox.
Nice.
It's
Let's see
clear.
inside. What do you got going in there?
And believe me, I carry this with me everywhere. And so I was on a couple of big jobs this week and I have not replenished. So some of my supplies are getting a little low. So I'm going to show you. So this actually is the toolbox that I take with me everywhere, every single job. And I have found that what I have in here is enough. I have my Sharpie pens, regular pens, I have different kinds of paper clips, I have little Post-it notes, and I do keep a level because for some reason, hanging art seems to be a thing when organizing, so I have a small little level and scissors, and you can tell a very well used measuring tape. And then I also have rubber bands because I use these for a lot of things like hiding cords, believe it or not.
Oh, good tip.
These are awesome because you can take your cords and you can just, roll them up and put the rubber band around it, and it's cheap and easy, and then just a little tape to tape it onto the leg of a chair or table, and you suddenly can hide your cords. So that works out really well. So other than that, a bunch of labels and things like that. So scissors, Scotch tape. So if you're planning on downsizing, this is one of the things that I recommend. I recommend doing a kit like this just before you start your move. And the reason is because when you're moving, there's pieces going everywhere. If you have your little work box, then you can label boxes, you can cut things apart, you can actually work and you don't have to worry about where your things are, especially when things are getting taken out of drawers. Here it is right here. So when you move, you have everything you need. And trust me, this is what I use every day. So it does have everything I need. But everybody's just thinking, okay, how can I change the way that I'm living so that it really reflects how I want to live. How I want to live, the place, the type of housing. Some people are downsizing all the way into tiny homes. I mean, that's really
That's a
small.
thing. Yeah.
A lot of younger people seem to go for the real small. The other people are more like, reasonable size. So maybe like half the size of their original home, or maybe like a house that they're sharing with someone. It's just a time of transition, I guess, and people are excited about it because they get to live life their way with the things they love. A lot of, I don't know, I feel bad at you, but a lot of people are downsizing from things they've inherited over the years, from parents that have passed away, or maybe relatives, or just different things like that. And they're like, you know what? I'm living with all these things, and there are certain things I love, and these are the things I'm going to keep, and the rest, it's time to pass it on to a child, a grandchild, a friend, a donation place, and they're living lighter, and they're really enjoying it.
What a good feeling, living lighter, because our things bog us down when we're not realizing that the clutter adds up and can interfere with how we're feeling in our relationships. And
it can be visual chaos, and just you don't even realize it. Like when you go on vacation and you're in a hotel room, you know how relaxing that is? Notice no clutter anywhere.
Never thought of it that way.
Yeah. And if there's things you love, you can keep them, but we can store them in an organized way so it's not visual chaos.
Visual chaos. Well, what are some of the common problems people have downsizing?
Oh, the most common one downsizing is, okay, what do I do with everything? It can be emotional, or it could not be. Most of the people that I work know exactly what they want and what they don't want. So then once they've made that decision, it's like, oh, where do we take it? What do we do with it? Like a lot of antiques are not popular right now, and it's so sad because years ago, things go in style and they go out of style, and it depends on, like right now, mid-century modern, woohoo, that's the thing. All the young people want that. They don't want the antiques right now, but it'll cycle back in. But the only problem is, when you purchased it, you paid a lot for it because it's beautiful things, but if there's no market for it, then you can't sell it for what you think it's worth. And that's a very common thing with a lot of people. It's hard to realize that something's just not in vogue. And I usually tell them, think about it this way. If you don't want it, somebody else probably doesn't either. And I know that sounds really, really harsh, but it's so true.
So get over it, let it go.
It's hard. It's very, very hard. But other than that, when people love things, we find a way to make it work.
So what do you tell people that are having a hard time letting go of things that are no longer serving them? What's kind of the process that you help them through?
I think the most important thing is to have it go somewhere where you feel good about it. So maybe it's your favorite charity. I had, let's take an example. I had a client, they were just darling, they were in their 80s, they're twins, sisters. They were wanting to move into a retirement village, and they had some really cool stuff in the basement. I mean, we're talking old records, genealogy things, and they couldn't take it with them. They didn't have room, and they thought nobody wanted it. And they said, okay, just throw it away. And I'm kind of like, I look at things and I think, okay, do you think really nobody wants it? Or is it something that really somebody wants, but you just don't know that? So I worked with one of the family members, and they put out an email to all the rest of the family members, and wouldn't you know it, there were granddaughters that wanted it.
Oh.
And they were like thrilled to get the things. It was just like, oh my gosh, they were absolutely thrilled. And my clients were thrilled because they didn't have to throw it away. It was going to someone who could love it and cherish it the way they have.
It's a sweet story. Yes.
I truly believe that's true. I mean,
enlisting the family members to help you find the home that someone can cherish it is just a good feeling.
It is a good feeling. It's a good feeling for everybody.
Well, Grace, tell us about some of your favorite projects that you have done.
Oh my gosh, there's so many. Let me see. I had a really, really fun time going to Baton Rouge, Louisiana, had a client who wanted to set up a home office because she had been working in one of the bedrooms of her home and not really utilizing her living room, dining room area. And so we went back and we actually started working together on the phone first, taking pictures of things, getting ideas. And I went back there and we moved her office out of the bedroom into the dining room and the living room. So she actually ended up with the dining room being the office area, and then the living room area being where she had a huge conference table and she would do classes for her clients.
Oh.
So it was just, I mean, it was perfect. She needed that. She needed the space, and she had the space in her home. It was just repurposing the rooms. And then after we got done with all the organization part of it, she had an interior designer come in and do all of the new paint and new flooring. It was just amazing.
So she probably couldn't, didn't think of such an idea, but you came in, saw it, sparked an idea that she might not have ever thought of. That.
Space planning. And you never know. You never know what you can do. And you just got to kind of throw ideas out there and see what works. Okay. And then you can always remember, if it doesn't work, you don't like it, you can change back.
Okay.
So
be adventurous and creative.
Exactly. And the whole thing is like when I go to work with a client, it's also just little things like dusting off the shelves as you go, putting that plant in the specific spot on the desk. All of that is important because it adds to making the space feel good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we all need to feel good in our space.
That's true.
All right, so you have some products to recommend that help people get organized and help them feel better in their space?
Well, one of the things is I do have an downsizing, I don't got the right title here. It is a planning workbook, and you can get it on my website with the book. There's a link in there so you can get that. And so as you're reading my chapter, you can follow along on the workbook and add things in, so you have the information for your move or your organization right there in the workbook.
Very helpful. Everyone needs that. So they can find that on your website.
On my website, if they buy the book.
Okay.
It's a bonus because it goes along with the chapter.
Okay.
So if you just have the workbook by itself, you're not going to really know how to use it as well. When you read the chapter, it's like, oh, now I know what to do with it.
So I'm loving all these tips, and I want to hear some more from your chapter. What else can you share with us today about getting your space looking more beautiful?
Okay, let's see. We talked already about starting in the storage. I think another tip is when you're dealing with little things, like for example, knickknacks. Okay, the knickknacks. I got something to tell you about knickknacks. Okay, knickknacks often look better as a collection.
I heard that.
Yeah, so you put them together, you have maybe a special curio cabinet or maybe a special shelf, and all of those knickknacks are arranged in an artistic way on that shelf or in that cabinet, rather than having them spread out all over the place. So that helps. Sometimes less is more.
I agree with that one.
Yeah, I mean,
less is more.
Yep. You can rotate them. Okay, here is an absolute crazy tip I got from one of my best friends who is, I mean, she's not a professional organizer, but she could be. She's that good. So one of her tips was that she has a lot of family photos. And so, okay, don't laugh. This is honest to God. She does this, right? She has different sides of the family that live in different parts of the United States, and they generally don't visit at the same time. So she has boxes labeled this family, and when they come to visit, she takes her photographs off all her surfaces. She puts out the ones for that family, and then when they leave, she puts out the regular ones, and then when the other part of the family comes, she puts out, because she loves the photographs, and she's like everybody's, I don't know, she's just one of those kind of people that's very, very much loved. All her family loves her. So you can rotate collections no matter what they are. It's always a fun thing.
I don't think many people think about that. They just like have to have them all out, but what a refreshing idea to just bring in, you get used to the same old stuff and just refresh it and bring in a different batch of knickknacks.
Yeah. So I'm planning on actually doing that. When I eventually move into another house, I'm going to do the same thing with my photographs. I'm going to have them like that by family, and then, you know, the other thing you can do that's really fun with photographs and stuff is you can actually, there are people that do this, not me, but they come out and they'll actually arrange your photographs for you and frame them if you want, or put them into a coffee table book.
Oh,
I mean,
very nice.
yeah.
So what do you think your specialty is? There's lots of organizers out there. What's your specialty? What makes you unique?
My specialty is I liked the big picture. So it's not just the organization. I really like to see you refresh that space as well at the same time. So whether it's moving in or doing a vacation house or whatever the organization may be, it's okay, while we're in there, let's do something fun to really refresh it and make it look fun and exciting and new.
Nice. So if someone wants to work with you, what would be the process to get started, and how would that look like to hire an organizer?
Okay, so some people like to do this and some people don't. But my first time that I meet someone is usually on the phone, and we'll set up an appointment, we'll talk for a while, and then I really like it if they take snapshots with their cell phone. Just random little snapshots of their organizing problems, things they're having issues with. And then the great part about doing that is before I even arrive, then we've already kind of thought about what kind of containers we might use. Do you really want to keep those things there? You know, what are you trying to accomplish? It kind of starts the conversation and it gives me a visual already. So we save a lot of time and can actually, because I can show up there with the containers already, so we're just ready to go day one. So I like doing it that way. To me, I think it's real, makes it a lot easier. Some people love it. Some people, oh, I don't want to send you a photograph, you know, or whatever. So then I just show up. But that's just one little hint that I think really makes the process easier. Yeah.
Hey, we need easier. We
Yeah.
need easier in these complicated times and all our stuff, and with a way to do it and support, and you know, taking, you know, the challenge off of moving, but also refreshing what you had, so you can fall in love with your space again.
And people are really surprised that it doesn't take as long as they think it does. I mean, they're thinking, oh my gosh, it's going to take me weeks, months, you know. It really doesn't take that long, because I have a certain method that I work with them, and we get things done really quickly. I mean, we did the she shed that I'm working on right now in about half the time she thought it was going to take.
She should. I saw a commercial about that. It's a real thing.
It's a
Women
real
having
thing.
a little shed in the back to do their own thing. And
Yes. Well, it's mainly, it's like a lot of people, they don't have a lot of room in their house. That's especially when they have kids and things. And it's just a little retreat where you can do yoga, crafts, you can write your bills out, you know, those read, and they turn out really nice. And if you do it right, you can also like have it be a guest house as well. Because I know people that have actually, this is one client I'm working with, she got a double sofa bed. Nice contemporary design, and so the she shed is also a guest room. So there's a lot of ways you can get dual purposes.
That's a great
out of
idea.
space. Yeah, I will do that with clients. So you get up, you get the kitchen and you get the bathrooms set up. Doesn't have to be perfect, but at least set up to a point so when the movers leave, you have a place that you can either grab a snack, or you can use the restroom, take a shower, you can go to bed that night in your bed. It's just so much better than being left with piles.
Wow, that would feel good to have that support, and that you have the tips of how to do it, how to make it easier, and if people want to work with you, where shall they go to find you?
You can find me at my website, which is gracebermudis.com, or you can text me 408-202-4272 are the best ways to get in touch.
All right, and do they have some things that you offer on your website that they can learn something?
Yes, absolutely. There's a video on there, how to organize your closet. And then I also have, if you bought the book, I also have a workbook a downsizing workbook that goes along with the chapter. So you can actually, as you read the chapter, can go ahead and work along in your workbook. Kind of keeping things front and center.
All right, so order your secret sauce of downsizing, read Grace's chapter, help you get organized, make your moves smoother.